let's go to the phones here. It's Open Line Thursday. I still want to chime in on some of these Commanders hires and the quarterback situation. I was thinking about it as I was driving in. But let's bang on a few of these calls. Let's go to George in Rockville. George, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Cluck You Chicken, I think it's still there, by the way.
Is it?
Takes is saying it's not.
Here waiting. I pulled it up on maps.com, and it says temporarily closed.
Yeah, I don't think
What
that's
does that
correct.
mean?
Thanks for being on, George.
I don't believe it's still there.
Not sure what that means, but recently I was there. So.
Okay, yeah. Recently, how
real
recently?
quick,
I'm in College Park like every week.
Sam Howell, you wanted to talk quarterbacks. Sam Howell's got a lot of talent. I was just looking as late as November, mid-November, he was leading the league in passing with nothing around him, no offensive line, really the defense, basically went belly up the first quarter of the season.
By the way, it's easy to lead. Hold on, George. It's easy to lead the lead in passing when you're not running the ball at all. When all you're doing is passing, it's pretty easy to lead the league, at least for a while, in a certain category.
He had 5 games over 105 quarterback rating. What I'm saying is that, and you're right. I mean, when you pass a lot, you could lead the league in passing. But guess what? You can get a lot. He's definitely. I mean, just looking at him.
Do you want to run it back with Howell?
I don't want him to get rid of Howell.
I don't think they're going to get rid of him.
Listen, he blew it down the stretch, and I don't think it was all his fault. I don't think Bieniemy gave him any favors, but I agree with you. I thought he played very well, considering his lack of experience through those first 8 games.
At the midpoint of the season, it might have been actually slightly after the midpoint, he had 17 touchdowns with just 9 interceptions.
Yeah,
at that point, it was looking like they found their quarterback.
Right,
but he ended up with 21 and 21.
That's fine, though. I mean, but he did. They got to move. They got to pick a quarterback at 2. There's no question.
A point that's overlooked, and they don't have to pick a quarterback at 2. You can get a bad quarterback.
Of course, but I think they have to swing for it.
Was ranked when he got drafted, but Justin Fields is one of them guys. If they pick this Jaden Daniel guy, that guy, he looks like he's going to be broken in half midway through the season. Now I could be wrong, but Sam Howell got pounded all year.
No doubt.
Never missed a game.
No doubt.
Availability is a very important attribute to have. You look at my man Brissett. He's a good quarterback. He played 1 game. He couldn't even make it to the next game because he got hurt in practice.
There's some truth to that. Now, there's some truth to that. That is
coach some people up. Everybody wants it to be microwave. Bring him in. Oh, he's excellent and so forth. If Brock Purdy had played on the Commanders last year, he would be in a completely. He'd be in a worse situation than Howell. I don't think there's any way in the world Purdy would have done what he did.
Why would he be in a worse situation than Howell?
Because first of all,
so you think Howell's better than Brock Purdy? What if Howell was on the Niners? Would he be as successful as Brock Purdy?
He'd be a lot more successful than he was here. Because
I'm not denying that, but you're just quickly your snap judgment is that Sam Howell is better than Brock Purdy. Because if Brock Purdy was here, he would be worse.
I think he didn't say
I don't
it
agree
correct.
with that.
I didn't think he said it well. I think what he's saying is if Purdy came here, he would struggle because of the line, because of everything else.
Exactly.
And I think I agree with that. Listen, we got to get over it. I
don't live and die by it. They could get a good quarterback, but just because you draft a quarterback high doesn't mean you're going to get a good quarterback.
No doubt.
We've talked about it many times. Like if you look at the Zach Wilson draft, I always say the Zach Wilson draft, but I believe Trevor Lawrence was one, and then Wilson and Trey Lance came right after him. Busts.
It's a bad crop of quarterbacks.
And Mac Jones was part of that draft. Bust.
Listen, we all know the risks. The risks are extremely
Justin
high.
Fields was part of that draft. Question mark.
But when you do pick this high and you do have question marks, and listen, I think Howell's a lot of ability, but I have no idea how he's going to bounce back from that second half. I mean, that guy could be ruined.
And if I'm Adam Peters, I would seriously entertain seeing if anybody would be willing to trade for Sam Howell, because do you really want Sam Howell in the same quarterback room with whatever 22 or 23-year-old quarterbacks coming in? I'd rather have a guy who's been in the league longer. It doesn't have to be Jacoby Brissett, but somebody of that ilk.
Maybe.
I would look at trading Sam Howell if you get something.
But you might have
in
3, so you could have a veteran too. It kind of depends on his personality and if he's a good teammate. I just read that the quarterback room in New England was so broken between Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi that Zappi would go to the receiver's room to watch film.
Right.
Oh, they didn't even like each other? Oh, that's toxic.
Right.
No, I don't think
Just
Sam
to answer
Howell's that way.
the Cluck You thing, I went to their website, and according to cluckyouchicken.com, locations in Maryland: Odenton,
Yes.
Lanham.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, that's
No, I mean, so it clearly closed. I don't know if it's
Looks like it's in
permanently
the.
closed.
It looks like it's in the old shopping center right across from where Jason lived. Seabrook Station? Was it called Seabrook
Maybe I'll
Station?
stop by one time.
get some nostalgia wings.
There's no question, in my opinion, and I think in most, that they have to take a swing at one of these quarterbacks if they're rated this highly. And we all understand that I think it's probably a greater than 50% chance we're going to bomb it. But I think we got to take a shot at it. And the more I think about it, the more I really want to swing at Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
I really do.
What?
And I think, because think about Kingsbury and Brian Johnson for a second. The two kind of top guys.
Mm-hmm.
Take Tavita Pritchard out. I don't know how he factors in the quarterback coach. But Brian Johnson, who was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, who I guess is like kind of he's like the OC in waiting. I don't know what his title is.
He has an unspecified title with the Commanders coaching staff.
Both of those guys have worked with very mobile quarterbacks. And you wonder, and Kingsbury had a lot of success with Kyler. Now, Kyler was a handful, and I think it ended poorly. But do you think that experience with Kyler and the kind of player he is makes him not want to work with another guy like that, or it makes him want to? And then Brian Johnson also worked with another guy with a similar skill set.
I think if you're,
Which makes me think they're going to lean
calling
that
offensive
way.
plays and you're an offensive, whiz kid like these guys are, their reputation, they want quarterbacks that not only can sling it but can make plays with their feet.
Now Drake May can. He's athletic. And his family, he comes from an athletic
So can
family.
Caleb Williams. All three of the guys that are at the top
Take
of the
Caleb
draft.
off. It's just assumed that Caleb's going to go one.
Yeah.
I think I want to roll my dice, and I want to take my big gamble with Daniels because his highlights are outrageous.
So are Drake
he
Mays
hits-
when you look at him.
Yeah, I'm not going to poo-poo Drake May. I just am more intrigued by Daniels' superstar potential.
Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, he had 40 touchdowns, only 4 picks. He had
I
some.
know.
You can see him make great throws downfield.
I just think I want the more explosive guy, maybe. I want to take a swing, especially when I have a guy like Kingsbury and Brian Johnson molding.
Yeah. I mean, Jaden Daniels, if he plays 15 or 16 games as a rookie, could rush for 10 or 12 touchdowns. Like he has.
Yeah, but
that
I need
sort
him to
of
throw for 20
rushing
plus
upside.
too, though. I can't just have him be a one-trick pony.
You need both. You need both parts of it.
But I am
to hit.
worried about his kind of slight frame.
Right.
I am worried about
It's a little
that.
worrisome.
Yeah.
Just have him train with Valdez. Tell him
Yeah.
not to get a hemorrhoid. That is the key.
Let's go to Mike in Bethesda. Mike, real quick. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks. Real quick, you had Bob Ryan on the show 1 week ago, and it seemed like he was a little too condescending to Washington sports fans. I mean, every
You took
other
offense to
word
it?
he was. Well, it's okay if we do it, but I mean, know your audience.
You didn't want an
Literally.
outsider doing it?
Never, especially him, and I recognize he's probably a
He's a
hero.
legend.
I mean, he's been around.
He's a
Yeah,
legend.
I know. But and what do? We come out of the gates on Saturday and shut out Bruins. It was so sweet for me.
That
that's
was
all
very
I got,
nice. I
but
did enjoy that.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.